To another episode of Threads of Enlightenment. And you guys know I love welcoming our guests because I know they're coming with a couple of things expensive time and their journey. Um, and I want to let you guys know Donna has been here before in July, and I suggest you guys go back and listen to her story. She has a powerful story. But I want to thank her for coming and spending quality time with us again to bring us up to date as to what she's doing. I asked her to talk about the hands-on stuff this time because she has a lot going. She's a busy woman, and I want to talk to her about all of that. And the other is her journey. I'm going to let her tell us a little recap as to her journey, and then we're going to go into all the fun stuff that she's doing right now. Donna, thank you so much for coming back to President Enlightenment.
My pleasure, Ken. Thank you for having me. As far as
It is
a little
honor.
bit,
Happy New Year.
thank you. Happy New Year to you. As far as a little bit about me, I am a life mastery coach. I am the founder and CEO of Vibrant Living International, and our passion is to empower people to step into their dreams, their purpose, and to live vibrantly. One of the ways that I describe it is I want to stop identity theft, and I'm not talking about our credit. And so that is, I'll be sharing some other things that I'm doing, but that is my title and a little bit about me. I didn't start here at all. To give a little bit of backstory, I began, and big incident in my journey was when I became a mother at 15, and it wasn't a consensual situation, but learning how to overcome trauma, low self-esteem, anger, all of those things, which is what I shared about in the other episode. So you can learn some more about my story there. But going from that scared little girl to now a woman who has an international ministry helping people around the world was definitely a journey of learning the truths and the secrets and how to stop identity theft, for sure. So that's where I began.
And I love your story. And I suggest, again, I believe it was, we had July 10th, was it, guys? Yeah, July 10th. We had posted Donna's information. So you guys go back and listen to it. It's a powerful testimony, powerful journey that she had of this young girl and all of the things that she overcame. And she mentioned she's a founder of Vibrant Living International, all kinds of stuff she's done. And I love the parts that she said. She's married with a wonderful husband, 38 years, mom of 3, and grandmother. Those are the things that one is proud of outside of all the other, as much as we are proud of that as well. So talk to us about your family a little bit, about these children and these grandkids of yours and your husband, and how they are able to loan you off to the world, if you will, because of your the type of things that you do every day, every day, every day.
Well, my husband and I have now celebrated 39 years since we were last together. So that is one of the biggest joys in my life. And of course, it was all a bed of roses. There were never any challenges there either. Ha, ha, ha. And but learning again how to forge those deep and meaningful relationships is all part of living vibrantly. And the same thing with my children. Yesterday, the day they were airing this, yesterday was one of my granddaughter's birthday parties. So we were at her house, at my daughter's house, celebrating that. But I have 7 grandchildren. They run from 21 to 4 in age. And they are, of the 7, 2 are boys. So we have mostly granddaughters. The 2 youngest are boys. And so they are all a joy and part of every day of my life. So it's very important to me.
Congratulations on the boys. I'm waiting for the boys. I have four granddaughters,
Mhm.
and I have five sons. So I'm telling the boys, hurry up. Where is that boy that you guys keep promising me? So I know how grandkids are. So as to your, um, and again, I suggest you guys go back and learn about that. But your heart and
Mhm.
vibrant living. Let's talk about that because I know how you give birth to that and how it came about and what has it mean to you all these years um, as a participant in such powerful a conduit by which is so powerful stories and testimonies that you're hearing from all the women all over around the world.
Mhm. It's very difficult to find words to describe when you see people's lives change and they really step into uh, a vibrant life, to their joy, to their purpose, to heal from trauma that occurs. One of my first signature programs is called Turn Your Baggage into Luggage, so you can have the
Yeah,
life you've dreamed, and helping and finding a way to help people to overcome life's painful moments and disappointments in a quick manner so that it doesn't have to take forever and it doesn't have to be hard. And so that is something that God has imparted into me to be able to help people quickly. A lot of people who work through that have been in counseling for years and have not been getting the results. I
uh,
often say, I will not teach you coping mechanisms to cope with your problems. I want to obliterate them so that you
nice.
can be who you really are and not deal with whatever it is that's trying to encroach on who you really are. So that is one of the first things that I've helped people do.
Yeah, I've been, as I mentioned to you earlier in the onset, I've been listening to some of the testimonials, and they're very impactful as to how quickly that transition takes place. Because all of them talked about how quickly that took place once they were there. In some of them mentioned in a workshop, and you
Mm-hmm.
guys listening, um, Donna has a workshop, and you. Trauma. Here's this woman in front of us, and I really want to suggest you guys go back. The trauma that she went through. And so she's familiar with trauma and all of the different results that trauma can bring in one's life. And she mentioned a few of them when she had to deal with as a young woman. And one of them was becoming a mother, um, uh, unannounced, if you will, not planned or something like that. But it happened, but yes, she triumphed. So talk a little about that because most people, Donna, that little trauma that takes place, because that's the root of it all. That we carry our trauma, which is basically, I tell people, is emotions that are stored up. An event took place, and lots of emotions came into that. And after the emotional stamp was placed on that thing, we carry with it. And then we bring a couple of things on, such as shame, depression, all of these other things we bring with us are reaccumulated from that trauma. Talk to us a little about some of those things that you overcame and some of uh, um, the testimonials of others from your guidance, how they were able to move through once they see and they were able to change their perspective.
Well, one of the first things that we don't often realize is where emotions actually come from. It isn't necessarily the trauma that holds us in bondage for a longer period of time. It's what we are believing about ourselves
Yeah.
and the world, if you will, because of what has happened to us.
Yeah.
Emotions come from our beliefs, and what holds us is what we are believing. So, talking about what I shared a few moments ago of what happened to me. So now I am believing I am unlovable.
Yeah.
I am ugly. I am, nobody will want me anymore. Nobody will ever love me. I'm going to be alone. Something's wrong with me. And I'm mad
Yeah.
that all my dreams that I thought were going to happen through high school and college are over. None of that's going to happen. So those are all the negative feelings that are happening, but my beliefs are fueling those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And as I began to learn how to shift to actually what the truth is, because what happened to me was more to do with the other person's behavior than the quality of who I am.
Yeah.
And my husband helped me with this as I began to date and we get married and so on and so forth. But learning to be able to discover that what the truth was about me, that,
Yeah.
and so that is one of the biggest shifts, is helping people to, it isn't what happens, it's what I believe about what happened. I know you've heard it. It's so common for children that go through divorce to believe that the divorce happened because they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
100% of the time, it has nothing to do with the kids. And so it is what holds us is when we hold on to those beliefs that are really lies.
Yeah.
And so I love to shine the light on the truth, because when the truth comes, we get set free.
Yeah.
If we will embrace the truth. So helping the clients, I am working with men now too, but helping my
Good.
clients to be able to embrace what the truth is, walk through forgiveness for themselves and others, compassion,
Yeah.
releasing, and it doesn't have to be hard. And so learning what really forgiveness is and how to walk through that was all the process that I went through that now I teach, that
Yeah.
have helped women with all kinds of trauma. Unfortunately, sexual trauma in women is way too prevalent. And all kinds of things that we don't talk, that most women don't even talk about. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So helping women to really, and that affects our self-esteem. So helping women to be able to heal from that and to release that. And there are, as you said, and the women tell it better than I could here on the
Yeah.
podcast. If you go listen to their own words saying what a difference when they begin to learn the truth and working with me and in the programs, there is so much information online, but there's very little wisdom.
Application of knowledge, wisdom. I love it. Uh, I will provide all of the links for you guys because I had a wonderful time the last couple of days listening to the women that were able to be under and in her workshop and the results that it came. And so I'm going to provide it for you guys so you can listen to that. And I'm so glad that you added us poor boys in there. The last time I'd asked, as I said to you, what about us men? And so you included us. And so having that addition, that other aspect, how has that been when you are, because I want you to talk about that because I try to tell people when I went through my divorce and I remember the pain and everything that I was going through, I remember reading a book written by a woman, Ileana Van Zandt, and she wrote that book for women. And this woman at my job gave it to me. And it was one of the most impactful
Yeah.
reading that I've ever done in my life. And I try to tell people it's people, is the gender
Yes.
is just where we were born, but how we believe and how we all these different things is exactly the same. So talk to
Yeah.
us when you brought us in, when you brought us into the fold, if you will. And how was that? Your first time, Donna, when you were um, bringing us in, how did you manage that transition with men?
I'm working a little bit different. I work a lot in coaching in groups in those kind of
Mm-hmm.
settings. And so in those settings, if it stays all the same gender.
Yeah,
So that way women can share about what happened to them openly and comfortably.
yeah,
But where I've been focusing on when I work with the men, I think men are amazing. I think
I
men
think
are
so too.
just I just like women, they don't realize how amazing they are, and we're pressured to
Yeah,
be all kinds of things by
yeah,
society that is not accurate. And we feel like we're fighting against a flow to be that it's okay to be feminine and it's okay to be masculine. And what does that even look like? That's another
yeah.
subject for another day. But
Oh yeah,
but
oh yeah,
as far as working with men has been one-on-one. And so I am
yeah.
taking a special care with what they are going through, and that's been my focus.
Yeah, it's amazing how, Donna, how society plays the picture of society's role about each gender. Um, you know, that antiquated belief system that many religious circles are teaching as well as things like that. But they twist it in a way where they make it more like um, not how it should be, you know,
Yeah.
because I tell people if you look at Ephesians, it talks about a woman and a man, these two individuals, they have to be, and I call it naked, they're going before God as equals and talking with each other and praying with God and having that relationship with God. And from that relationship with God, the man will learn how to respect the woman, the woman respect the man. And the woman, even though the man is the head per se, it is just the covering. It's not someone to order and just whip and turn a woman into a slave. And I know many men that are doing all of that type of erroneous behavior. But society tells us that our manhood is tied up in the providing. And when a man loses his job and he's not providing,
Hmm.
all hell breaks loose in that man's mind while you see
Hmm.
him dealing with things because I know
Again,
because I've been there.
it's not what happened to them, it's what they're believing about what happened to them.
Exactly. It is, I'm telling you because it was my belief
Yep.
that tore me up and because I
Mhm.
felt less than because of my belief. And I had to learn how to manage that
Right.
and escort me out of where I was from the dark place. And I'm no longer like that. I believe that men should cry. As we shouldn't be holding things in. But they tell us that men shouldn't cry, and they have songs about it and all that type of stuff. But men, go ahead and cry, man. So here, Donna, I want you to talk about. Um, there's, I'm so glad you're here because you have so much, and I wanted to take them, parcel them a little so that we can get some insight. We mentioned the workshop, guys, women. We mentioned those workshop. I'll put those links so you could see the testimonial and hear the testimonials of the women. I know you have your blog. Talk to us as to your blog, the type of information you said you have. There's lots of information out there without any wisdom. So talk to us as some of those things that you discuss within your blog and in the space of wisdom being laid out so that someone can read and understand where you're going.
Yes, my blog can be found on my website, and I don't actually know how many years I've been blogging, but it's been a long time. Um, the theme of my podcast is exposing the lies so that the truth can really be shining in, and how that. So all of the is, I am a girl without a lot of fluff. I get straight to the point quickly.
Hmm.
If that's somebody that you enjoy following and listening to, I am not long-winded. I can quickly see what the problem is and speak to it when I'm speaking with individuals. And learning to be able to, so that a lot is some different things I've talked about is how to set goals and what that really looks like. Am I good enough? And what, am I enough? And what that's a lie that we often believe is that we're not enough. And that's a whole
Yeah.
list of stuff. I'm not enough this, I'm not enough that. And so there's a lot of different things that you can go and check out and just pick a topic that excites you and read through that.
Yeah, I have when before Donna came on, I was reading everything that I could see. I read some of the blogs. I was looking at all the different things, and one of the things that she is very good at is books. So Donna, talk to us about your books because I know from our last interview how you gave birth to many of them, and I want you to talk to um, the last book that you wrote, or something, one of the books that you read or wrote that you want to say something about, that you want to guide the audience towards, so that we can send them to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the beginning of it, and then they can get all access to the rest there while they're looking at your stuff.
Yeah, the book that I love to highlight the most is called The Key to Transform Your Life. It has a big monarch butterfly on it, which goes along with transformation. And it is a book about the importance of our words that we speak. I think that it's probably been 4 years ago that I wrote that book. It was my last one.
Hmm.
And I think it's time for an upgrade because I've learned a lot of stuff in the last 4 years. But that book is not just the importance of our words, it gives you 30 days of affirmations that you can apply, and every day is
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
So for 30 days, you will have 5 or 6 different affirmations to add because the power of our words is so um, not well, it's not emphasized enough. I guess I'll put it that way. So that book is available. In the first part of it, I describe all why it is important, the affirmations we say, the things that we believe. It is reprogramming our brain, training your brain to
Yeah.
think what the truth is. Uh,
Yeah.
Renewing our mind is another way it's said, but learning to
Yeah.
be able to believe the truth. And when a lot of people first begin to say them, I've said things I don't really believe about myself, but now I do. And so learning to be able to shine and to be all comes with the words that we speak. So that book is available. It's called The Key to Transform Your Life, and it is under my resource tab, I believe, on my website.
It is. I'll tell you the power of words. From a Christian point of view, I'm born again, and I was raised in the church. And the power of words is seen immediately when you turn to the very first page in the Bible, and when it said,
Mm-hmm.
"And God said, let there be light." So this whole thing that we're looking at, this universe, was put together with some words. So
Absolutely.
that is the power of
And
words.
before that, it was a thought.
Yes.
First, it was a
And
thought,
so,
and then it became
yep,
a spoken word, and then it became a thing. And that is
yes,
a formula that always works.
always
Um,
work. That is creation power. That's how one
Absolutely.
creates. And so I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, we are creators. We just have to, if we are created in his image and likeness, then I can probably do some of the things that he can do. You know, if you just learn how to the principles that you have to use to get what you need. Because it says, the Bible tells us that God believed, he spoke things into existence, calling those things that are not as though they were.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we do with our
Absolutely.
affirmation, if you will.
Yeah.
First, you don't believe it. And as you call those things
Mm-hmm.
as though they were, you will one day wake up and you will
Yeah.
be totally different. And so, talk to us, Donna, about your that transformation process that you wrote in the book. What were some of those principles that you discovered in your life that you put into that book as far as the transformation process? What were some of those?
Well, let's just think about some words right now. And if I say, I'm going to say a word and you repeat it to me, I'm going to do like 3 words and then we'll change and we'll do a different set of words. So sad,
Sad,
failure,
failure,
ugly.
ugly.
How do you feel in your body when you say those words?
Yeah, it affects you instantaneously, Donna. I did
Instantly.
this with I did this with my kids to show them
Yeah.
the power of words. It's
So let's
instantaneously
let's pick some positive
settle
ones.
it.
Let's
Yeah,
replace those. How
yeah.
about beautiful?
Beautiful,
Loved.
love,
Perfect.
perfect. Yeah, you feel it,
And you can feel
and
it. And so it's
yeah,
I mean, it is so basic that you
yeah.
actually can feel there is a vibrational power that
Mm-hmm.
is unseen that we don't understand, the creative power of words.
Yeah,
And so learning that is I mean, there I quote it's all through the Bible as you said, but
yeah,
just doing that little exercise is showing us that there is power in what you say about yourself. So if you look in the mirror and go, ugh,
yeah,
or if you look in the mirror and say, I am beautifully and wonderfully made,
yeah.
and it changes the way you feel, it also changes what you see.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't often realize that the words, the thoughts we think, and the words we show actually what we see. We could totally miss opportunities of blessing because we're focused on other things. I use
Yeah.
the example, I forget the scientific word right now that happens in our brain, but when you bought your current car, you began to see that car everywhere you went.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, you were going to the same places all along before you had that car. The cars were there. We just
Yeah.
don't see them. So the
Yeah.
power of the words that we speak and the things that we think is the key to transform your life. And
Yeah.
having support to really help us dive deeper to those beliefs is also one of the keys. So that's what that book is full of.
Yeah. That is powerful. I know there's a scripture that I always mention to people. It says in the King James, um, decide a thing and it shall be
Mm-hmm. You decree a
decree
thing
a
and it will
thing
be
and it
established.
shall be established. But when I went into the original language, it says decided. And
Mm-hmm.
because God had to decide that he wanted to create man, he made that decision. And when he made that decision, he began to decree the place and put everything together by which he was going to put that man. So you have to decide it. Once you decide it and you release the words, it becomes that much more powerful
Mm-hmm.
because you believe what you say. And that is the key. And with the power of words, Donna, with my kids, I took my eldest son, I did an exercise, my eldest son and my youngest son, when they were very young boys. And I had them say the same thing. Had the eldest put his hand out and say, I am weak, I am weak, I'm everything negative. And I told
Mm-hmm.
his little brother to pull his hand down. I told the big brother, do not let him pull your hand. And his little brother put his hand on there and
Mm-hmm.
it just went to the side of his body.
Mm-hmm.
And the eldest brother kept telling him, hold it. And he says, I can't, my hands are weak. And then I told the young one, I said, you say I'm strong, I am powerful. And I told his older brother, move his hand, push it down. he couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to teach them that instantaneously to a cellular
Yep.
level, your words
Absolutely.
affect your entire being.
That's a
And
beautiful
so if
exercise.
you know this, then you ought to be very mindful in what you're saying, the words that you're saying, because the Bible did say, Donna, power of words, life and death.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, and then God says something really interesting. Choose life. And
Yeah.
so it
Giving you a
tells me that
hint.
yeah, he's giving us a hint. We're a little crazy. That's why I tell people we're a little crazy, and he's trying to direct it. He says, choose life, guys, because, that's what you need to be saying. And so that's what you are, with your affirmation, you're teaching them how the Bible
Mm-hmm.
talks about renewing the mind. You're renewing the mind. And as you're renewing the mind, you're teaching them about the power of their words to change their life. So you guys are listening. This is some good stuff. One of the things I know that is there when we're going to provide this stuff is so that you guys can make appointments to chat with Donna, and you men too, because she included us in there. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a link there for you guys to make appointments. There's a link there for the workshop. And I want you to talk about your programs, Donna. Those
Yeah.
programs that you have out there that people can, go to for them.
Mm-hmm.
Describe some of those programs.
Well, my newest, and it seems like your newest is always your favorite, but I love them all,
Yeah,
um, is called The Balanced Blueprint for My Dreams.
yeah,
And this was created for the people who have a dream or a passion or a goal or a calling, any of those words, to accomplish something, to make a difference in this world, to leave a legacy and make an impact. And which described me. And that
yeah,
was always something. And I'm going from this scared little girl to this. And there's so many people who was telling me, well, you can't do that.
yeah.
That's not possible. That's not who you are. And I'm like, who are you telling me that I'm not this? I have this on the inside. I know that there's something more that I'm supposed to do. And so God has taken me on a journey of learning
Yeah,
how to have a balanced life while you pursue your passions, how
yeah,
to have harmony, how to create wealth so that you can make an impact in this world, and how to do it from a place of ease. Jesus said, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." When we do it His way, it's not hard. But if
yeah,
you did a poll of the average or a bunch of just a general population of people, every one of them would use something about life is hard.
hmm,
Something's hard. But
yeah,
when we do it God's way and the secrets that He's shown me on how to live from rest, not I need to take a rest, but live from rest, is the things that I teach in this program. So
yeah,
wherever you are in your dream, this program will help you take it to the next level. There was this thing for me that if I grow to that big, I'm going to have to sacrifice something.
yeah,
And that's not true. And I've learned the secrets on how to build. I have been an entrepreneur, had ministries, been involved in it for over probably 30 years.
yeah,
And so I did it the hard way a lot of those years. And so I've
yeah,
learned the secrets on I call it the balanced blueprint. I'm also doing a workshop that will be regularly. That is a new workshop for the month that we're recording this. But that will be something new that you will also find shortly on my website. And that is called the Balanced Blueprint Advantage. That's a brand new workshop that I am launching this year to be able to give people basic information. And then if they want further coaching and more support to take it to that next level with ease, without sacrificing anything, actually improving your life, then this is for you.
That's beautiful, Donna. I did this sacrifice, and I remember having this dream inside of me for so long about being able to um, be a teacher of the word. I know that was my calling basically, and would travel and teach and preach, and which I did. But I restricted myself because at the time I was a single dad. I had the kids, and I'm like, I can't do it because of the kids. I mean, every
Mm-hmm.
excuse that you can think of on the planet, I used.
Yep.
And one day, after the boys got big and they're doing their life, and that's when we say, I'm ready. And then the Lord came in and said, you could have had both.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that when that reality came to me, I sat there and total, I was exhausted, Donna, from
Mm-hmm.
from thinking about what did I do? And here you are, created a workshop, a program by which people can understand you can do both. And truly, guys, when I saw that, when God revealed to me that I could have done both, but it was my choice in which road I took. And he kept nudging me, but I kept pulling him back and say, I have the kids. I have to be responsible for the kids. And he allowed me to have that excuse. And but he reminded me that I could have had it both. Now I'm doing what I felt, but I could have been doing it much much further out and so forth.
Yeah, and
So
want to
yeah,
eliminate the feeling of burnout. We don't
yeah,
have to burn our candles at both ends and all those kind of phrases that we use for, and it explains our zeal.
yeah,
And then there is a burning, there is a zeal to make a difference, to do things in the world, but learning how to not do it with sacrificing something.
yeah,
For me, it was my health. I took care of my
yeah.
relationships, but it was my personal health that I was sacrificing. So learning how to do that has been transformational. And now I am sharing it with the world on how that can be possible. So I am helping the people changing the world to do it and to affect more lives than they ever thought possible.
That is valuable stuff. Guys, all my life, man, I knew what God had called me to do. And many of you guys have that calling, that restlessness, if you will, that is sitting there
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Yep.
And you know it's God um, talking to you, trying to have that conversation as to trust me, allow me to be your guide. And I tell people we are so crazy when you think about it, because here you have God who is, um, he says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, past, and all these beautiful things he tells us that he has this plan to do. And we are resisting that plan, a lot of us, most days, and not allowing him. And I said, we are resisting all wisdom, all knowledge, all of it, everything. He has inside information, I keep telling people.
Mm-hmm.
And because he has inside information, he has inside information about you. He has inside information about anything and everything that you will be a part of. Why
Mm-hmm.
not go and get the inside information? But we kind of like doing things on our own, and we have to learn how to surrender to God and allow Him to really guide us. And He promised that He will. He said, I'll show you things to come that you didn't know anything about. He said, He promised us, He said, I'll show you treasures, hidden treasures. And that's about anything. It's not about money. Hidden treasures about you, hidden treasures about your industry, hidden treasures of wherever he's calling you. He said he'll show it to you. Allow him, guys, to lead you there. So, Donna, here you are. You've got your workshop, you got your testimonial. And Donna, I'm telling you, that's why I tell the guys this is one prolific woman. She is all over the place, guys. And yet, she's able to fulfill everything from a place, as she said,
Yeah.
as just peace and joy. You need to find out how she's doing it. You need to get into her space because it's important. Because I believe, Donna, that the call will only become stronger because of you're put here for an assignment. All of us have an assignment,
Yeah.
and you're put here to get it done. So, guys, if all of you that are having that tug, Donna, I'm going to give you her stuff so you guys can get into her class and learn all of your information that you can through her programs. So, Donna, here you are. You talked about the grandkids, the kids, the husband. You talked about your heart as to the business and all the that God has led you to start, and you've seen all of these powerful changes within women. As you sit there, Donna, and you get up in the morning, when you walk by in the mirror and you see you,
Mm-hmm.
what do you see?
It is amazing. God had me toward the end of last year go and get some pictures of me. I think it was about 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And compare to because I did videos. I've been doing videos. So go back and get an old video and do one that you did recently and compare. And then I was shocked at the difference. And then I
Yeah.
went and took it to people and I said, which one do you think was an earlier picture? You know, which one do you think is me older than the other one?
Yeah.
And they actually picked the younger version of me that was older.
Wow.
And your youth is renewed when you
Yeah.
learn how to do it God's way. And I look at myself and I smile as
Yeah.
if I am so thankful for what God
Yeah.
is doing and what he's teaching me, and that my capacity to receive his love and his goodness is growing every day. And that's one of my
Yeah.
confessions, as I
Yeah.
expand in my capacity to receive love, abundance, and wisdom. I say it every day and
Wow.
it happens. It's happening.
Yeah.
And so what does my future look like? I don't know. It's so
Yeah.
big I need sunglasses though.
Isn't it
So
something?
and I have a podcast too in the
Yeah.
middle of all of this. So which I am relaunching this year. It's now called the Vibrant Living Podcast. I've had it for 5 years. So
Yeah.
it's going to have some new and upgraded things. So when I look in the mirror, I am just so thankful um, because looking at myself, like even 10 years ago, I really think I look younger today.
Yeah.
I am less stressed. I am healthier. I am taking care of myself and I am having more fun, making a
Mm.
bigger impact, all from
Yeah.
ease.
Yeah, that is powerful. I One day the Holy Spirit had showed me something when I was studying the book of Hebrew, and he was talking about entering into his rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember as he was showing me something, for me personally, was that when we are in a situation, and I remember teaching people that when we are in a situation, and I was talking on the subject of faith, that you know that you're in faith when you have entered into that rest.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're there, you have done all the scripture, you have done all that you had to do. You're following the principles. But then when you hit that rest, you know that you know that you know everything that you have said and done is going to make that thing manifest. And you're
And
at
the opposite
total
is
rest.
true. One of the
Yes.
best checkups to give yourself is, where do I feel unrest in my life?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when you notice unrest, it's something's going on where God's peace, there could be faith in the negative going on, and learning how to use unrest, that feeling, to explore how to be more,
Yeah.
to have more rest in your life, to have more ease in your life. It is faith, and I love, and it is joy, a confident
Yeah.
expectation of good,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
no matter what I'm facing. And so when we're coming from a total life place of rest, we talk about it all the time with our faith, or, what
Yeah.
we're believing for, but I'm not every area of your life. Anyway, I can talk all day about this.
No, I want you to, because it's important for people to see
Mm,
you and to understand
yeah.
the vantage point of which you're speaking,
Hmm.
because that's who you are, and that vantage point from which you're speaking is about power.
Yeah.
It's and that unrest. You're absolutely right. It is time to begin to question things, to go in,
Mhm.
to dig deep, and to have that deeper exploration with yourself and with God as to why that thing is there, because it is there for a reason. It is there for this conversation to take place, so that you can have that conversation with God, so that He can show you what it is, what needs to be attended to, if you will, and so that you can move into that space of restfulness, because that's where you want to be.
Mhm.
None of us want to be in a constant state of unrest. And so, as Donna said, investigate it. Stop. Don't move. Don't keep moving. Stop for a moment. Look at this and get some answers. Because, as I said to you, God said He will show us, reveal us. The Holy Spirit is here to reveal us things to come. That's a thing to come in your life. He's going to
Mhm.
reveal it to you. So you just have to ask and spend the time as you're asking. So, Donna, you've done, I know, the podcast. Donna had mentioned, she said she's the type of person that uh, is no fluff. She goes, that's, guys, that's what you need. Many of you have been around a lot of fluff, and you've seen it for years and years, and they'll come up with all these type of stuff. You need a skill surgeon. A skill surgeon
Mhm.
don't need all the fluff. And so when she is, because of her skillfulness, she's able to diagnose you much faster. She's able, and with the wisdom that she spoke about, there's a lot of information out there, she said, without any wisdom, but with the wisdom that she has gained in our life, she's able to skillfully um, cut through all the noise, get straight to the where it needs to be, locate you, and make sure that you know where you are, to see where you're at, so that she can assist you and move you through. I always tell people this story about Jesus Christ walking at this pool. This man is there waiting for the angels, all of that stuff. Jesus come on the scene. He sees the man, and he asks him a question: "Do you want to be healed?"
Mhm.
And I thought, wow, what an interesting thing, but Jesus had to locate him. Are you satisfied with staying right there waiting for every
Mhm.
year? Or what are you doing here? And he said, I want to be healed. And God pinpointed him, split second, got him up, and he was moving. That's what Donna's doing, guys. She's gonna locate you and get straight to the point, pick you up, and move you through. Because again, those testimonies, I heard them, and it was how fast they were moving through. So I want to, all the listeners that are listening to us, and I'm so glad you're back, Donna. And I wanted you to talk about this stuff we talked about, so that they can see. You guys can go back. It's July 10th. Was 23 was her interview posted. Go take a listen to it and see and hear where she came from and who she partnered with to come where she is today. She partnered with her God. She surrendered. And through her surrendering, she got to where she is today. And on that tape, she talked about her beautiful husband. That guy is a God sent. He's a powerful man. And you tell him I say that, because when you were talking about that testimony, that's all I keep hearing. What
Yeah.
a powerhouse. So you tell them I say blessings. And men, she has programs for us as well. She will deal with us a little one on one because, you know, we could be a little special. And she's going to need to grab our attention from time to time because 99% of us men are, it was at ADHD, they tell us that we suffer from, and we can't pay attention to anything. And so you are
Mm.
going to need that special time so that she can talk to you. I will provide everything for you guys to get access to her. You ought to, you need to, and you should. Donna, thank you so much for coming to Threads of Enlightenment.
My pleasure, Ken.
Thank you.